Carl, how much would you pay for a black goo to insert itself into Tom Hardy? How much would you pay for that?
How much would I pay to watch it? Or what?
How much would you pay to watch it?
Am I the goo?
You're the goo. How much would you pay to insert yourself into Tom Hardy? $25 is the price we paid for this film. My name's... Sure. My name's Oscar.
My name's Carl. And this is Who Would Watch This?
Welcome to Who Would Watch This, the podcast where we watch a film moments ago, chat about it, and then see who would watch this.
Fresh from the cinema.
Yeah.
My hands are still buttery from the popcorn.
Oh yeah, we shared a bucket. It wasn't sexual.
Oh, it wasn't.
Let me go on record. It was not sexual.
Our hands touched a lot.
Oh god, the butter is still seeping from my pores.
Actually, our hands are still stuck together. There's a lot of syrup in there too, and it dried. We were in a major panic in the middle of the film, and then a fire alarm went off. We couldn't get out of our seats. It was very embarrassing.
Everyone laughed at us. Our pants fell down. We couldn't pull it up because the hands were stuck together and the butter wouldn't let us grab. It was a lot of messy things, but it was a great
Tom Hardy turned to us on screen and he went, ha ha. And today we're reviewing Venom, or Let There Be Carnage, which currently has a 59% on Rotten Tomatoes, 2.9 on Letterboxd, and a 6.1 on IMDb. Oscar, what's the plot?
Eddie Brock attempts to reunite his career by interviewing serial killer Cletus Kasady, who becomes the host of a symbiote, Carnage, and escapes prison after a failed execution.
Oh, that sounds like a plot that can be easily wrapped up in 90 minutes.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
And it was!
It was smacked out. Wow. First Venom is longish. I remember fast forwarding quite a bit. This goes a breeze.
It does. Also, we didn't have the power to fast forward because it was on the cinema screen.
We requested it. They, again, laughed us due to the situation.
They did. They even said, hey, if you ask everybody in the cinema if you can fast forward, we will do it. We did take a poll. People did vote to fast forward. We did accidentally rewind.
Yeah. We saw this film backwards, so let's go into it. Tom Hardy's dead. It's not good.
And Venom's a bottom?
Oh, God. But before we get into this interesting lover plot, let's rewind before we had seen the film and then try and figure out who we thought would watch this.
Oscar, we're seconds from going to the cinema to watch Venom. Let There Be Carnage. We need to get out the door.
We need to get out the door. Quick.
Really quick.
Right, what do we think?
Sure.
Yes.
Who's it for?
If you liked the homoeroticness of the first one and you want Andy Serkis to direct you through that homoerotic scenes, then this is for you.
Have you ever seen an Andy Serkis directed film?
Did he do that Jungle Book Netflix thing that nobody watched and everyone hated?
Mowgli.
Did he do that?
Yeah, he
I
did.
haven't seen it, but I've seen the Jungle Book live action. I like that.
I know. John Favreau. Maybe he should be directing this one.
Yeah.
This is probably going to be for fans of not fans of John Favreau. This is for people that didn't like Chef.
Yeah. If you're watching Chef, you're throwing your food at the screen, this film is for you. Well, do we think this is fans of the first one? And who are fans of the first one?
Okay, well look, so we're fans of the first one.
Yes, but why?
I think it's unhinged.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's silly.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I did not like Venom when I saw it the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I'd really eased up on it the second time that we watched it when we did it for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that it maintains a fun nature and they let Tom Hardy be unhinged.
Yeah, unhinged, and the relationship between Venom and Tom Hardy is still there.
I'm hoping it's more coherent. That first one was a fairly incoherent film.
Yeah, and held together with funny scenes of them kind of being weird.
It's kind of hard because it's kind of the charm that first one's a mess. And
if it was just a mess, I'd be angry. But then they kind of hold the glue is their relationship, and it's weirdly sexual.
Yeah, it's really powerful.
It is powerful. It was kind of the Stonewall of the Venom series, of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, if you will.
Yeah.
You're not, but let's just say you will.
That's a sentence. I guess, yeah, fans of the first.
Yeah, fans of the first.
Sure.
Wow, I'm glad you come to watch an hour podcast. Who would watch the second Venom? I guess if you watched the first.
So we shouldn't do say, would you remember when we were trying to do all the Twilight films? And it was just like,
God.
remember, you can't repeat them. Pretty sure we repeated them every time because we could never remember what we'd said the week before.
We post these and then they blank from my brain. They're gone.
I like to pretend that we don't even do a podcast.
No, we're
most
starting
weeks.
new every week, and that's why the quality is this poor.
It's 51st dates, but a podcast. Every time I come in, Oscar slips in a videotape reminding me that we have to do this fucking hellhole of a podcast.
I have a memento-style tattoo that's just, you're a white dude with a podcast, and I scream in agony every day.
Oscar's shirtless, looking into a mirror with the words, "Who would watch this?" tattooed backwards on his tummy.
It makes me so insecure, just like, oh god, that just my body?
Okay, Oscar.
Okay, Carl.
So the film starts in 1996.
Yep.
Shout out to a phenomenal year. That's when I was born.
It popped up on screen, you went, oh, I'm there.
I don't know if you realized I did give it a standing O.
You got told to shush.
I did get told to shush, and I said, "But that's my year."
Yeah, that old bitch in the front was like, "I'm 1992. It's never my year. It's never my
Oh
year."
god, what a hag!
We threw confectionery at her. It was a fun day.
It was a fun day.
We start off.
We meet Cletus.
Yeah.
Is he an actual? Do you know if he's a real Marvel character?
I think that is what his name is.
Cletus.
I think The Simpsons has tainted that name. Before, it was a very respectable, a noble name for an Englishman, and it's been ruined by that hillbilly.
If you're a respectable man named Cletus, please write into the show.
If you're listening to this podcast, you're not respectable.
That's why I expect them to be called Cletus. Oh god! So we get his random backstory, which is any of it true? It's like him and somebody named like FB. She shrieks. She loves Cletus.
They're in both prison cells together, and they converse through pipes.
Are they cells?
I don't know.
Because it's an old just home.
Yeah,
It's a castle.
You'd think that would be. There's one of them that has the power of, like, I don't know, screaming, and they're like, just put her in the dungeon. That was where she should stay.
No, it's not. It's not a prison. It's like a home for unwanted children.
Oh, God. They just converted it into.
That's right, because at the beginning of the movie, it's not Woody Harrelson, but a young guy mimicking Woody Harrelson's voice, and they've dubbed Woody Harrelson's voice over the top of him.
Oh my God, was that who that was?
Yeah, because it's weird.
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Anyway, I don't know why they do this. Why would there be pipes connecting rooms together?
Sorry,
That would
so
never
that you can
happen.
have a friend.
But, like,
You were just talking about the pipes for your.
I know, but I can't have a conversation, and this is not a
You
jail.
can, that was somebody asking for. That was a cry for
That
help.
was someone shitting down my floor.
And you slammed on the wall and said, "We're recording a podcast in here."
They slapped down and said, "Us too." Get this, everyone who's our competition lives in this building.
Oh, it's true, they do. Our neighbour's cereal.
Quiet down there, who would watch us, boys? We're researching the new murders.
Oh god. So anyway, this chick, she's got big ass screaming powers. She hops into the back of a car with a absolutely useless character, Mr. Mulligan, Detective Mulligan. Mulligan on this character. Leo.
We zoom in on his name tag. His name is Mulligan.
The movie stops for a full minute so that we can learn what the name tag says. The name tag, though small, is very convoluted with a full paragraph of "Hello, my name is Patrick Mulligan."
The pause is on the name tag too.
There's a long ellipsis.
Yeah. The longest ellipsis you would not believe.
Dot 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 dot
And
dot
you gotta
dot
pause
Mulligan.
it.
Oh, so he becomes Toxin in the comics.
Oh, is that what happens?
'Cause
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
We are. Hang on, is he a
He'll be-
temporary alliances with Venom in the past? Oh, okay. So it's just setting up more bullshit.
More
All right,
bullshit.
sure. Anyway, she gives a little squeal. She goes, "Ah!"
Deafens the detective. The detective shoots her out the car.
Like a shotgun, but it's not. It's a handgun.
Yeah.
blast, like somebody's fucking thrown her through.
Well, I just don't get it because it hits her eye. And she's like, I'm not dead. I don't know how a bullet doesn't.
My favorite thing is she wakes up in another cell, which is a secret cell.
Yeah.
But Mulligan thinks that he's killed her, which means that the car crashed, and this doctor must have, I don't know, been walking by at the same time, scooped up this girl over her shoulder and fucking done a runner. Like,
I've got a secret lab, you're going to have it. Also, I don't know if you've a car crash, if the body's gone, I'm not going, my job is done. I think I shot her while crashing the car.
I think Mulligan's an idiot. I think I love it. He's clutching his ear and he's like, oh, I'm blind.
Wait, I guess I'll speak. Oh, God. It's one of the 4 senses.
And I'm mute. Help me. Oh, God. So then, present day, Mulligan's a detective.
Yep.
Talk about failing upwards. No wonder there's fucking podcasts about criminals getting away with it when you've got detectives like Mulligan on the case.
Mulligan's a fucking idiot. He still has the gun just loose. He's still deaf. He's just like, Eddie, screaming around. He's
Eddie, I can't see you.
holding a gun. It's loaded. Don't you worry.
Oh god, this character's such a fucking idiot. So much so, he's enlisting the help of Eddie Brock to solve find the buried bodies of Cletus.
Yeah.
Right? But then fucking Brock's a awful detective as well, and he's using Venom, who's actually the good detective. Who would have thought?
Yeah, good cop, bad cop, Venom's the good one.
If you're a fan of Venom, are you enjoying this as an idea? It's mostly Venom's not in the film much.
No. Venom's... If you like Venom, this is definitely not the movie for you. Because Venom, I don't think he's one of my favorite characters we've done on the podcast. He's like a good cop, like soft boy who still wants to kill.
Oh, I love Venom. I want a big hug from Venom. I want to curl up with Venom. Venom can eat my brains any day of the week.
Oh god, he's an absolute dreamboat. Essentially, Tom Hardy's still wrestling with Venom being like, you know, like, who wants to take each other out? But they're past that. But just like, this is what it is now.
Yeah, they're like, this is our life. They're the odd couple. The movie transitions.
One's clean, one's dirty. One eats burgers, one eats fucking humans.
One's a human, one's a symbiote.
Will they solve crimes together? It's
oh
ridiculous.
my god, it is, isn't it? They own 2 pet chickens.
One's named Sonny, one's named Sher. Again, best joke of the whole.
Oh my god, there's some great stuff in this. Useless, but better than anything. So great. This is like just a section of the movie. I genuinely don't think the movie gets any better than Brock goes in to talk to Cletus. Cletus is like, I'm not going to tell you where the bodies are. Brock walks by his cell, which is open to the public, I guess. Looks in.
A school children passing by, just like, this is the murder, we haven't found the bodies. You've listened to it on Serial. You get that? We're plugging your fucking shit. Plug our fucking garbage.
I swear to God, please don't go to Serial. You'll never come back to us.
God, the audio quality's crisp.
Oh my God, they've written things down. They know how to explain things in constructive sentences.
What the hell's going on here?
Oh God, you might even feel an emotion.
Isn't disgust.
You gotta stay with us. Like the abusive relationship of Venom and Brock, you need us.
You need us, okay?
Anyway, he walks by this cell. There's like, I don't know, like 30,000 hieroglyphic drawings carved into the wall. Venom, of all people, has a photographic memory. He's come back, and Venom's like, give me 2 pens, I'll take control of your body, and I'm just gonna draw for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
He draws a ton of stuff. Brock is an idiot and is like, no, I don't get what's going on.
I just have no clue what this could be useful for. He's recreating, essentially, the murder's map. He's like, well, I just can't. One thing also, how did no detective or no cop look in his cell, go, there must be a clue here. This crazy
Mulligan's blind, remember?
Oh, yeah, true. Feeling around the walls like, I think I got something.
I can't hear any of these hieroglyphics.
Can I taste concrete? I think I lost my taste in a war somewhere.
I love it. He's really at that wall that's like in Willy Wonka. He's like, the schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Oh, God, blood. Blood tastes like goddamn blood.
Cletus is like, it's cruel to kill this man. Anyway, so then Venom draws it onto like one of those clear pieces of paper.
Perspex, yeah.
Of perspex. Puts that up to an image on the internet.
It's not Google, it's like Find It or something.
Yeah.
Like that. I don't know what Venom Googles to get just mountains. He just looks up like screensavers, essentially.
Oh my god, he's basically just like a mountain with a peak.
Yeah.
It's grassy.
He gets his, again, it's just a shitty stencil a madman's drawn, and he holds it up to the computer like, matches perfectly. They find it.
They find it, and Cletus is like, ah, shit. I'm like, this is our villain.
These are our heroes. So far, I've been thwarted
Incompetent.
So far, I've been thwarted by Google and drawing with a crayon.
Cletus is
Not a single bit of violence yet.
Oh my
just
God.
detective work.
Oh, it doesn't get better than this. It doesn't get better than this. Oh, God. Anyway, so he's found guilty of his crimes. He's sentenced to death by lethal injection. Is this still a thing in Chicago,
I
wherever it's
guess
set?
it's California. I guess so.
I thought California was like the progressive one.
No, they still like killing people.
Oh, God. Okay, all right.
That's not a fact check. I think just the movie wanted to be set in San Francisco and they forgot they didn't have the death penalty.
Yeah.
Fuck it, they've got it now.
Probably. So like then we get to catch up with what's her face, the love interest from the last movie.
What's her name? It's
Michelle.
A fight? No, Michelle
Williams. Who's also she's come back to again do nothing in this movie. She must read the script and be like, why do you want me?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like it's weird because the whole film, I guess the first one was kind of based on this, but I remember they didn't sell it very well. They're in love essentially. I don't believe it.
Oh, I don't, because they definitely lean into Brock being in love with Venom.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Venom being in love with Brock.
Oh god, he's literally inside him constantly.
Oh my
I
god,
don't
he's
know what...
never not
Yeah.
inside Brock until he's not.
Oh god, we'll get to the second act.
So anyway, she's getting married to Dan from the first movie.
Yeah.
This movie's like, you love the first one and you'll remember all the supporting characters. And I was like, okay.
I remembered him because he's in Veep and his name is Dan in Veep, so I assumed it was Dan from Veep.
The main one I remembered is the shop owner.
Yeah.
Who steals the film.
At every turn, steals it.
Oh god, Sony, if you're smart, you'll take $300 million from this movie.
Deposit into her pocket. Yeah. Put it in her pocket.
Give it to her. I can only assume she's an actual convenience store owner.
Method. Tom Hardy was like, I don't believe it. It has to be real. Get her in the shop. She'll do it.
I always forget he's like super British.
Super British.
Like
Kind of makes it gross, doesn't it?
Like Cockney British and just like covered in tats.
That man can't act. He hasn't got a soul.
I almost forget that if he was on the street, he'd be super intimidating.
Is he not in every film? What film is he not intimidating? I guess this is his technically his weakest film, and he still could kill.
What's he not intimidating in? This means war. Remember when he versus Chris Pine for the affections
I
of
hate that fucking film.
Reese Witherspoon?
Because it's like, which one's which? But both characters are bland as shit. And Reese picks one of them. I think she picks Tom Hardy. And at the end of the film, you're like, but both of you are the same. I don't get it. And Chris Pine's like, rats. Didn't get her. It just ends.
Does she pick Tom Hardy or does she pick Chris Pine?
Tom Hardy, that's the thing. It's so forgettable you wouldn't know. But one of them saves her. And that's the defining moment.
Hey Siri, who does Reese Witherspoon pick at the end of This Means War? The problem with Reese Witherspoon, GQ.
Go on. We'll stoop to a level. Start reading out GQ, man. No, we'll get sued. We'll get sued.
All right. It's a summer's day when I met Reese.
It's not a Jane Austen. It's not a Jane Austen book.
She was sitting with a spoon. It's comedy. It sounds like a last name.
Puns. I hear they're great. They're doing great for comedy.
Speaking of puns, Venom.
Gotta get them.
Venom.
So what's happening at this moment? Okay, so Tom Hardy pretty much is like it's caught Cletus.
Yeah.
The film's over. The film's done. We're 30 minutes in. They've done detective work and they've solved it. It's an episode of Scooby-Doo, essentially.
There's been no action
in
this action film. He's then invited back. But
to gloat, I assume.
Yeah, because Carnage or Cletus, I guess, is like, come back to me, please. I'm gonna die. Sends him a postcard.
Yeah.
And written within the postcard is a shit ton of sketches.
Yeah. Venom's over the moon.
He is. Tom Hardy sits and then we just watch fucking sketches for like a minute. And it's like, so I did.
Do you like this part of the film?
No.
It's kind of like stencils. It feels like
it's not on style with the movie.
No.
I think the illustrations are nice.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good way to depict the violence that Cletus has done.
Yeah, he kills his mum and throws a hairdryer in the bath.
But it's not.
It's a bit weird. But
it's so out of place.
It's a creative choice, though. This would never be in another superhero film.
Yeah, I know. It's just really. I find it just odd.
Yeah.
Because
they're kind of weirdly green screened into the cartoon.
Yeah,
so they're watching whoa, this is...
Their green screen bodies float around, doing 360 spins, whoa.
Tom Hardy reading the letter. Wow, it's so immersive.
Oh, God. The Cletus is I've got 7 Horcruxes with the memory of what I've gone through.
3 items that are magic.
So he decides to go back.
Yeah.
Brock is immediately agitated.
Oh, immediately. Venom's both of them agree. Let's not get angry. I think Cletus is your shoes look a bit weird, and Venom's I'll fucking kill you. I'll fucking kill you. So she chucks his hat again. No one knows Venom's still alive. Chucks Venom thing and just starts. I know Venom's meant to be an alien and doesn't get it, but essentially throws him around the pen.
Yeah,
and then Tom Hart. Then Cletus just bites him like a little rat.
Cletus is I'll have a taste. He's if you're gonna put your hand in my arena, I might as well get a little taste.
It's
of it.
never established he's a biter. I think they should be. I think there should be one with the drawing where he's biting.
I reckon.
This is a weird thing for an adult to do.
I reckon they should have walked in and looked at all the drawings and been like, "How'd he carve them into the wall?" And the detective's no, Nord.
You see, before he was Carnage, he was Beaver Man. Woody Harrelson removes his veneers through a massive gap tooth. He just gnaws the wall.
May I talk to Cletus? You can if you can get through his dam.
Imagine that, investing so much money into the Beaver super villain shit, and then you get Carnage. Oh god, I wasted so much on loose wood. I have a small house.
Oh god, I do like when Cletus is I've tasted blood before, and that's definitely not it.
Yeah, he's kind of a connoisseur.
Yeah, I know.
What the fuck is this, huh? It's delicious. It's great.
Give me another taste.
Come on, give me another nibble. Beaver Boy's got to get this fix.
So then this means that Cletus just is able to. He's Carnage now.
He's Carnage.
So they go to kill him.
Yep.
And he's "Oh, I'm out."
I'm not.
He kills everyone. We kind of get the first piece of action of the film.
Yeah. That isn't slapstick. I think this Venom has a bunch of cooking scenes. They're not. You're not going, wow, this is action. But yeah,
it must be really fun if you're a fan of Venom and you just get to watch him be domesticated, cracking eggs, whipping omelets,
making a mess. What else would you want to see?
Getting the mail. There's so much time spent to being what's their morning routine? How do they get along?
90-minute film. Imagine going, keep that in. I want to see how he gets the mail.
The Venom fans are gonna love this. He's like a pet.
Andy Serkis sitting like Gollum. Oh god, cigarette in hand. Oh, he's gonna cook a nice breakfast. I swear to God.
It's like, who am I kidding? I put all my energy and love into Mowgli.
He's had a Netflix DVD made up of Mowgli, stroking it.
He's like, no, Venom wouldn't make eggs like that.
Again, Tom. More symbiote.
I love how often we do the gag of somebody smoking and talking. We do it all the time. It might be in every episode when we're like, oh, a connoisseur's directing this.
Do the thing. I don't think it comes across because we all make a noise. We always hold the cigarette in such a wanky way.
On our end,
You ashed just then.
did just ash. I tap off I tap off imaginary ash in my pompous smoking thing. If you're listening to this, it's just us saying something and then into the microphone.
Blowing out the mic. I think you should do this.
Imagine being like, who would watch it? Being like, listen to this podcast. One of their best gags is they blow out the mic pretending to be a director. I don't know what they're doing or the point they're trying to get across because it's an audio medium.
Yes, it is not to land.
I guess we're both Detective Mulligan in this scenario.
Because we're blind to the audience. Let's see. So this is our first action scene.
What do we think? What blew my mind, Carnage can be a tornado.
Oh yeah, what the fuck was that?
The Carnage has some really incredible superpowers in this film.
Yeah.
He can turn into a tornado.
Yep.
He can be viney.
He can shoot spikes.
He can shoot spikes. And he also gets incredible Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah. He essentially they're like, all right, we need to find Venom, Carnage in perfect English. And he's like, well, how are we gonna do that? They find a loose laptop in the prison. He just hacks into it.
Oh yeah, they go into a convenience. It's the best thing in the movie. This guy at a convenience store this extra's been told to act just like he's having the best day. He's like, "Hi, Woody Harrelson. How are you today?" Woody Harrelson kicks him in the face, stomps him to death, and then they plug into Carnage's internet, which is all red.
Yeah.
Which means that there's like a design algorithm to his like skin.
Yeah, he's had like web design classes. He's like, well, I've got to fit my aesthetic. Also, that man he kicks as a fan of Woody Harrelson just kicked him square in the face. Wasn't even in the film. They had to write it in.
I do want to say that it is fun having Woody Harrelson in this movie, who's definitely seeing what Tom Hardy's doing and meeting him on his level.
Definitely. A lot of scenes where he's like, not monologue, he just does a lot of walking. He does a lot of like just jumping into cars. Very fun.
Yeah.
He's having fun with it.
Yeah, he's having super fun. He's been told to act big. I think he's like, one of the things that's infectious about this movie is everyone's having a good time. So there is just an enjoyment to be had because it's moving fast. It's super silly. The comedy's broad.
Yeah.
Some
of the comedy's broad. Some of it's quite specific. Some of it's very specific to the point where it's not funny. But I think it is pretty funny.
Give me an example.
I don't know. There's a lot of like bits in like the bar, like just Venom chatting to Tom Hardy. It's like it's funny comedy, but like there's not really many jokes. It's just them domestic.
I know. It's kind of like Venom, a marriage story.
Yeah, that's a lot of the bits where
they say "I wish you were dead" a lot.
Yeah, Venom punches a wall, but that's just like a fun action scene.
Yeah, you did go to the bathroom in that sequence where Venom like breaks his nose and is like, "I'm so sorry. Can I see the damage I've done?" And then breaks it again.
Oh, damn, I wish I didn't miss that. Anyway, so essentially, Carnage is on loose.
Carnage is on the loose, and Venom and Brock have broken up over reasons. I
don't know.
They just need to...
They're domestic. They're like, you're not cooking the eggs right.
Venom needs to go find himself.
Which, in a 90-minute movie, I can't believe this is inserted. It's one of the best scenes of the film. It's probably why it's... They know what they're doing, which in a one way kind of ruins it because it means that they know what they're doing, so they kind of play into it, and it's not like it's kind of like self-referential. However, they've leaned in it so well It does work.
Oh, it does work. He goes to like an LGBT rave. He's covered in those glow in the dark like rings. He gets a microphone. He says he's been released from Eddie's closet.
Yeah. Well, because he rocks up. He is still infecting people, but he's out in his costume. He's like, I'm free. And everyone accepts him.
Yeah.
Like, what is this film saying?
He talks to a woman and he's like, you're not my type.
Yeah.
Like, he gets up and he says that he's happy with who he is and he's happy that all of them get to be who they are.
Yeah. And
Oscar,
it's banned in China? What the hell's going on?
This was the other thing that I thought was absolutely hilarious. When they go to the prison for the first time, Venom's like, hey, can I eat all of these people? Will anyone care? And Brock is like, hey, some of these people have been given plea bargains, which means they're not necessarily guilty.
Yeah. We saw
weird subject.
Well, we said we've seen Making a Murderer.
Yeah. A weird subject to be like, I've got a political standpoint I would like to get across in Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage.
It's weird to think that someone was on the fence on what to do with, like, killing prisoners. And they were like, watch Venom 2. I'm like, I've made my mind up. Kill them. Just let them be eaten.
It's just like a 10-year-old seeing this for the first time, turns to his mum and is just like, is that true? Are there innocent people in jail?
We need to reform these
Does
prisons,
the justice system not work?
Mum! Slams down the popcorn. What the fuck, Mum? You took me to this?
This has ruined everything.
I'm not going to become a cop now. It's an anti-cop film, this film.
That's right. He's like, all the cops I see, they just shoot one another.
And they're blind as shit. They've got a weird name.
Anyway, so then Carnage uses the internet, his own Wi-Fi or whatever, to find out where his girlfriend's staying. It's one of those things where you're like, oh, okay, this is going to be a bit of the journey, is he's going to have to try and find where his girlfriend is. Next scene, he's there. He's
there, and the scene before that, Tom Hardy had said, run away. Still gets caught. I'm pretty sure, didn't Michelle Williams get caught in the last one?
Yeah.
She literally is just a damsel in distress.
Oh my god, she is. She's not used appropriately.
No.
Anyway, so then Carnage now has his GF.
Yeah.
But her power is noise. And the symbiotes don't like noise.
No.
Or fire. They don't like noise or fire.
Which I'm like, oh my god, how will Carnage and the girl live together?
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty powerful.
So this was one of those things where I was like, is this stupid or smart? And I still don't know.
I think it was smart until it became the reason why the film ended. I think when the filmmaker went, fuck, he probably couldn't beat Carnage, could he? I guess his wife beats him? I don't know. But essentially, should we just do the final now?
I guess there's not like a... What else is there? I mean, Venom just like hops around. Is he letting people die?
He is. Venom is killing people. Venom is like because the
sucking the life out of them.
That's the first one. Don't you remember? He jumps from people to people and kills them. And the only reason with Eddie is because he's the only one that can like host him.
Yeah,
he's killing lots of people.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. So there's this whole like weird thing where like Cletus and the chick are going to get married at a church. They've taken the detective that shot the girl. They've taken what's his face, Mulligan,
which is weird because it's shown as like hey. Did you know that was that? And like the film gives us
told us. They lingered on his badge for an hour.
Minutes.
For most of the 90-minute runtime.
There's a single shot of a badge. It's just a still frame. It don't even move.
Oh, it does. Most of the movie plays through the transparency of the badge.
Opacity varying from scene to scene, but it's always there, at least 20%.
Oh my god! If you look closely, the entire script of Venom Let There Be Carnage is on the badge.
It's just a big pile of poo.
They're like, there's so many clues. There's the clue that
imagine foreshadowing with a script in the film.
There's like, they linger on his badge. The next scene, they go, hey, Mulligan. And then he turns, he's got like an ear thing
Yeah.
because he's deaf, and they're still like, I bet you didn't guess who I was.
Zoom back on the badge. It's the same one. Holds for another minute. Both scenes pop back up together, side by side.
Oh, that's right.
Crossover.
Yeah, they cross over. They're the same badge.
On with the film.
We supposed to like this character? It's kind of mean and rude.
He's
isn't
mean. He's buffoonish.
He? Yeah.
He actually can't do much. I don't think he does anything to help Eddie Brock. If anything, he comes to Eddie Brock with problems.
Yeah.
And the problems cause more problems. Because he's a bad cop.
He's a bad cop.
Yeah.
When he dies, I was glad.
I was very glad.
I think he deserved it.
Until I found out, well, I mean, we'll jump ahead a bit. We'll get back to the main 30 minutes of the film. But anyway,
so.
he dies and he becomes, what do you say, Venom?
He becomes toxin or toxic or something.
Is this actor that high profile to be the main villain of
What,
Venom?
the next one?
Yeah.
He's in things.
He's in things. He's in The Irishman. He's in stuff. Don't get me wrong, but Woody Harrelson's quite a big name. I'm not shitting on him. Maybe he's deserving of being a man.
I don't know. Maybe somebody else is going to be the villain. Because I don't know if he's like, as a fictional character appearing in comics, he was depicted as an anti-hero and at times a supervillain. So he might be.
Maybe just a part of it.
Yeah.
I don't really mind. But anyway, should we get into the actual, I guess, the main event of this 90-minute film?
Yeah. So, because I find it weird, Venom and Carnage don't have a fight until the very end.
Yeah.
There's no like middle fight
No.
where Venom loses.
And you're kind of like, the stakes are high. And the film, granted, the film actually does nail it because essentially you rock up Venom. So Carnage has his girlfriend, they have the cop, and they have the girlfriend. They've won, essentially. And Venom rocks up and we're like, well, we'd never sat. And then Venom pretty much just out loud goes, oh, fuck, I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
Which actually is quite a clever way of raising the stakes because
Because they haven't established them
they
before.
haven't established the stakes.
They,
and they're like,
I thought they were going to play with it more, but actually it was one of those gags that I was just like, this is an odd gag.
it is an odd gag.
Where they go, I'm going to kill you, father.
Yeah.
And then they look to the priest and he's like, not that father, that father, and points to Venom.
Yeah, and you expect a laugh track, but the priest just runs off. It's kind of funny. I like it. I just don't know what kind of. It's not broad comedy.
Why is the priest there?
It is pretty funny they got a priest involved in the whole situation.
I would have liked a sequence about how they got the priest.
Yeah, I would have. Well, that's the extended cut. That's the 100-minute cut. You got the 90-minute cut.
Oh, I know. Joke's on you, it's just more badge.
Fucking hell. The badge cut again. Andy Serkis with a cigarette. Got another 12 hours of that badge.
I want that television over there playing the movie, and we're going to shoot it from the reflection in that badge there. That way people will definitely maybe think that man is Mulligan.
It's not even foreshadowing. It's just information.
I know, they're just letting you know visually.
Yeah.
I know, it's just one of those things where I think, and maybe it's like test audiences didn't know, and that's why they had to do the flashback that like they're like, look, it's Mulligan, and Mulligan's the person for the opening sequence. But this is one of those things where I'm like, the movie did such a good show don't tell of just being like, close up, Mulligan on a badge. Next scene, hey, Captain Mulligan.
Yeah.
Cool. I know you're Mulligan, and the movie's still like 11-minute flashback of his being raised as a kid. We'll call him Mulligan.
Mulligan shaking him at the screen. Come on, it's the weird cop who's blind at the end. Remember you fucking guy. In fairness to test audiences, I didn't know his name. So I'm actually of the opinion that it was a reveal for me.
Mulligan.
All right.
What if that's not his name? We look down and his name's like Cameron.
Colby.
Chappelle.
Well, do we get into this fight? I don't know what we're going to say. Venom, I think Carnage won. I think Carnage should win.
I think so too. I think that there's a scene where everybody falls.
Yeah.
No clue what's happening.
No clue.
Right?
Do we just go? I don't know what. Okay, how would you explain Carnage loses. I think that
So Carnage gets big. I don't understand. So if you eat more brains, does your mass expand?
I think you grow stronger, like the vampires in Twilight.
Right, but how is that? Because Venom never has as much mass as Carnage.
Yeah, because
Carnage is just an offspring that's like yay big, size of a quarter, size of a coin, size of a button, size of a zipper.
I think he's mutated. I think this is why he's all fucked up and stronger.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: he's stronger, but he can't actually like link to Cletus. So he's not like he can't live.
They're not
forever.
like a good pair.
No,
you know,
they're not
like
Venom and friggin' Brock.
Which is a part when Venom's like, I don't want to get up.
Yeah,
and Tom Hardy's like, I love you.
I love you.
And there's a reason we work together.
And that's also in the hour 20 cut where they just snog for 20 minutes.
God, I needed that. There was so many scenes where I was like, please make out.
Just make out. Yeah.
If this doesn't end, if the trilogy or the quadrilogy or the 30-part series they're planning on making of Venom doesn't end with Tom Hardy snogging Venom, I don't want to see it.
If I don't see Tom Hardy's naked body humping that symbiote, I'm out. You can. I'm throwing the PlayStation in the bin. That's why I'm doing Sony.
Yep.
I'm buying an Xbox.
That's right. I'm going to get a Honda Civic and not put in a Sony radio.
Oh, God, you really don't know your brands and cars.
Hey, there's a lot of things I don't know. As we're recording on this MacBook Pro. No, we can't say that.
We can't. We get sued by Sony, I assume.
Sony's like, you can't review a film on another device. Everybody's fine at the end of the fight.
Why don't we get
here's what the chick's crushed by the Liberty Bell?
Yeah, I think it is the Liberty Bell. That's in Seattle. Maybe. We won't fact check that, but we will state that as a fact.
I'd love it if Nicolas Cage comes up and just like brushes it clean.
Yeah.
It's just like
a clue.
The national treasure.
3.
That'd be a good crossover. I'd be into that.
That'd be into that. My God, imagine Nicolas Cage in the Spider-Verse because of that. I think everyone's safe. How's everyone's like?
So she's crushed by the Liberty Bell.
Yeah.
Cletus gets his head bitten off. Mm-hmm. Carnage gets eaten by Venom.
Yes.
Why is that a thing?
I don't know. I think
how does that work?
It's like eating a booger, I guess. A Venom booger. Gross, very gross.
He says that it tastes gross,
doesn't he? He does. He's like, yucky.
And then I think there's a part... So Venom falls first. He lands on Dan. Dan touches...
Michelle Williams.
Michelle Williams.
Spits it up. Catches Tom Hardy.
Which means that Venom can catch Tom Hardy.
Yeah. But it happens in half a second.
It does. That I was like, whoa.
Got whiplash from that.
I did. I saw Miles Teller up there on screen. I felt it.
God, it was the passing of a badge, Miles Teller, and Venom, all smished into one. 5 stars.
So then Brock and Venom are fugitives. I don't know why.
I don't know.
Because they escaped a jail? But he wasn't under arrest. He was just brought in for questioning.
I think the FBI, a lot of people caught on that this Eddie Brock guy's just got something, like he's involved too much. So they flee to a Fijian island.
But before that, it's really weird, the cut just to like Mulligan's eyes glowing blue.
Yeah, that feels like an absolute insert, don't you think?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like they were like, I guess we could probably use that.
Like, I almost feels like what they were going to use at the end credits. Right?
Definitely.
Like 4 seconds.
You're totally right.
Eyes open, but they just decided to chuck it into the film.
No, that or the Spider-Man verse went, hey, we're doing this. Oh, we'll go end credit scene. Chuck it in the fucking film.
Yeah, put it into the actual movie. So then they sit on a beach.
And they bicker.
They bicker like an old married couple.
They do.
He's got Venom's taken over Tom Hardy's feet. He's got big fat toes. He's digging them into the sand.
I'm very much not a fan of this. I don't like it.
Really?
All right, Quentin.
I was pretty into this.
I was pretty around.
I know that we couldn't fast forward, but I did yell for a pause.
standing up in the cinema. Stop! Venom's
Stop
toes
it.
are on screen. I need that paused.
Let's inspect this and count them. This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home. This little piggy had roast beef. Oh, and that one had none, didn't it, Venom? Didn't it? Little cheeky boy.
God, Tom starts sucking the toes. It's not nice. It's not
Okay,
nice.
don't take this too
Okay,
far.
I'm sorry to make it
honestly.
sexual.
I was in the middle of a cute little
orgasm.
hoedown. Let me finish. Seriously, let me finish. So then that's all fine.
Yeah.
They're happy and free. Then there's like an end credit sequence, and Tom Hardy's like, it's like a long end credit sequence. It starts with like a telenovela.
Yeah.
Then Tom Hardy's like, why don't you give me some more information about how the world works? Because you're like an alien.
Yeah.
And then they get jumped into the Spider-Verse, like the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
And it's just like the end of Far From Home. And just like a shot of like a very clearly
Just
random shot of Tom Holland.
Tom Holland's like photo. From,
Like I
his,
don't know where they've got that photo
I think
from.
it's Google. I think it's like Tom Holland, and the first thing that popped up, chucked it on screen, and they were like, "Lick it, lick the JPEG of Tom Holland, and we'll call it a day."
But
Venom.
I don't know why Venom licks it.
Because this film's incredibly sexualized, and I don't think we've touched on it until the toe thing.
I feel like it's just one of more of those things that's just like, I think Venom just likes a twink. Like if
God, he
Venom's
loves being jumping in a little body, doesn't he?
Venom's speech is indicative of anything. It's that he's definitely somebody that would be attracted to Tom Holland.
What speech he took? Oh, right.
So the one where he's like, I'm out of the Eddie closet.
Yeah, I'm in the Tom closet.
And I want to get into the Tom closet. I want to bury myself in his plump little British curls.
Tush.
And that's Venom.
That's
Let there be
Venom.
carnage.
Venom
There wasn't a lot of carnage.
No.
There's 90 minutes, not a lot of action.
30 minutes of bad detective work, 30 minutes of just goose chases, and 30 minutes of a church fight.
Everyone acts like an idiot.
Yeah.
There's so much badge.
So much bad.
So much
And
badge.
yet not enough.
Oscar? Who would watch this?
I don't think Venom fans would like this because it's really leaning into the old...
It's like well received by
I
audiences.
guess then maybe people do... Maybe this is in the comics. Maybe this is very canon.
I think maybe one of the things is that like I think Venom fans maybe didn't like the first one, but
the
an
first one-
audience found the first one anyway.
Yeah.
And maybe it's for this other audience that
Yeah.
we're not considering.
That's propped up.
Yeah.
Because like the first one was a mess. It was a weird... It felt cold. It wasn't very... It was so cliche. And then the only like ray of light was this weird... Like they've got good chemistry. I was like guess we'll work with that.
Which
And
is wild because it's like the screenwriter was saying that when she was writing this and she was talking to Tom Hardy on Skype, she'd get him to read dialogue. He'd just like do the Venom voice and then his voice, like he was just interacting with himself, like on Skype, like
That's
moving
fine.
back and forth. So it is just like it's just him propping this up.
and I will say this: congratulations, Tom Hardy. It's just a monologue. He's just monologuing. He's done. I think he's done. What's that other film with twins that he does?
Oh yeah, Legend.
Yeah, didn't like it, but this is pretty much Legend.
Not a good film. Yeah, I love actors are so obsessed with only wanting to act against themselves.
Yeah.
It's like, oh god, when you see an actor getting to play twins, you know that they just fucking love
it
it.
chuffs. It's like I'm just like look at my range. It's on camera. It's on screen.
Oh, I get to play myself twice.
Oh god, I have to snog myself. Oh god, it's gonna be good.
So who's it for?
Yeah, I think I think you're right. It's just people that like amazingly everyone loved the first one. It made like $1 billion. I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about it. Us. It is us.
It is us.
We can't do a cop out.
Dig deep into our catalog.
Yeah.
Find it.
Stream it.
Find all the clues.
Find it on Spotify, Apple, Google. Hey, chuck them all.
Oh, they're already listening. We don't need to tell them where to find it.
They can find it. They might need help. They do listen to this podcast.
Go into the Spotify app. You want to go up to the search bar and you want to type in WHO space WAT.
Keep going. We're almost the hour. Carl, who would watch this?
God, I don't know. This does feel super Saturday morning cartoon. It feels really like dialed back and PG and kid friendly, and it feels silly. Like, there's worse ways to spend 90 minutes.
Yeah, I feel a bit duped though. I feel like 90-minute. Like, we seek out 90-minute films for this because it's a chore.
Yeah.
I think if you're an average movie person, you might be like, that was quick.
It is rough to pay $25 to only be entertained for 90 minutes.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
a bit that, isn't it?
Like, we could have used that $25, ducked in to watch No Time to Die, and we get a full, like, another film
Yeah, exactly.
within that film. Like, that's like a near 3-hour
That's
film.
2 Venoms. You know,
You get
that's
2
how
Venoms back to back.
Yeah.
If you want to get them, it's Venom.
No Time to Die. Doesn't really rhyme, but there you.
Funnily enough, Rami Malek's in both.
Wow. What does he play?
He's the badge.
Oh god, and the joke is finally circled off, and I guess you can tick it as a good joke before a disgusting, disgraceful little mess. But Rami Malek is the badge.
I do
that's
love
comedy.
weaving a gag in so much that it could never be deleted. If you were to like, it's not landing, and you just
This
cannot delete
podcast
it.
is propped up on bad jokes. Such a large quantity of bad jokes that you just can't. You remove one, they're all gone, and it's fall to the ground.
It must be fun to recommend this podcast and be like, you've got to wait the entire hour until you get any sort of payoff or any ounce of anything from them.
How is the payoff?
Not
Like,
good.
not good. But does it kind of work?
No. Oscar palate cleanser?
I watched Last Night in Soho, and have you also watched Last Night in Soho?
Yes. We have both seen the film Last Night in Soho.
You warned me the ending was pretty shit. I've seen a lot of negative reviews. Taking that into the film, I enjoyed it, but I definitely feel if I hadn't had those warnings, I completely get it.
Yeah, look, I don't want to spoil anything for anyone
Especially
because I do think it's worth watching.
Yeah.
I think it's visually really good. I do like the fact that Edgar Wright really doesn't do anything twice. I think he does really try and challenge himself as a director, and he's doing something really different here. I applaud that it's original. There are so many ways that the movie could go from the midway point.
Yeah.
God, it goes in a generic direction, and that's what bums me out the
What
most.
part of the genericness did you not like the reveal? Because I didn't mind the reveal, but you are right. It's the things surrounding it, and also the dress thing at the end was a bit.
I think the other thing that also bugged me is while, like, I'd be interested to know if Edgar Wright's doing if he thinks what he's put into the film is scary or not. Because a lot of the scares rely on these, like, shadowy men that just aren't effective, in my opinion.
No, I don't think so. I think then behind it, what actually was, like, my favorite scene, and again, spoilers, so apologies if you haven't seen it. Go see it, have an opinion, then come right back. But I thought when Anya Taylor-Joy is stabbed, and there's also the man who's also, like, kind of, like, not having, like, sex with her. That scene alone,
that's a great scene.
That's like, that's 5 stars. I love that.
Yeah.
That's, like, the scariness. And I think there's, like, 2, like, just after that, the shadow men are scary, and then they kind of fall flat.
I think he relies on them too much.
100%.
He just uses them over and over again, and that's when I find that it gets into a really repetitive state.
It does.
There's a sequence in the bar that I really like in the second half when she confronts the guy downstairs. She's all alone. He's pretending to, like, orchestrate and play the piano.
Yeah.
That was a misdirect that I saw coming, so I was annoyed about that because they'd gotten somebody really famous to play his younger self, and I don't know why they did that.
Oh, really? That makes sense. Yeah. I was weirded out. I forgot it. I didn't think about it. But I knew he wasn't the villain.
Yeah.
But I forgot he was a cop. But
Yeah, because I was like, it makes sense. And I mean, that's one of those also clever foreshadowing things. Again, spoilers, is that a cop was onto Anya Taylor-Joy about the murders.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Was very aware that she'd been killing people. Clever. But again, I just think that there's something way more interesting about this girl that's kind of going back in time. There's a part where she wakes up and she's got the hickey.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool. So the past can affect her. And she might be able to affect the past.
Well,
and it never goes down that road.
No, because then the Shadow Men would have it's like also what's it called? Nightmare on Elm Street almost, kind of like back in time sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just kind of go. Also, I will say I think it was a bit of a cop out that it was a metaphor killed.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit of a. I was like, ow.
Well, I mean, they do like interesting camera movements to make you believe, even though she is killing him, he is killing her.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's trying to have its cake and eat it too by being like, in a way, I was killed because my dreams were killed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It was one of those things where I think that there was a more intelligent way where it could go in terms of how it's like the horror of like Get Out was like a lot of the racism. Whereas this one ends up being like, oh, well, the horror is really just horror. When it got to a point where I think like the most on edge moments are like her running around backstage and seeing how all women are treated.
Oh yeah, that was way better, wasn't it?
Like, I just thought that was really effective. And even those moments when she does sort of have sex with that guy and he's like looking over her.
Yeah.
There's those moments that I think are just way more effective than any of the horror that it tries to play in the second half. I just think there's more interesting ways that you can go with the story.
100%. And it felt like a weird. We touched on like we thought the boyfriend was a bit weird.
He's a very odd character to include.
Yeah.
I don't believe he would make a lot of the decisions that are made.
And then also that just dress show at the end. The tone was I felt a bit off.
Yeah. The other thing, there's two things. I really don't think her relationship to her mother as a ghost works.
I like that sort of like how that explains the powers away.
I get it, but I was like,
I
don't know, and I don't think it pays off particularly well.
No, it doesn't pay off.
And
I think it doesn't pay off at all. It's literally just like it starts off like I'm having problems, goes back, I'm having problems, but had like a big thing in the middle.
Like I think it would have been fine if it was just like the room.
Yeah,
is the reason. Like she doesn't need to have a superpower. Like not a superpower. She doesn't need to have like a connection to the dead.
Yeah.
The other thing, and that I feel like, and I think just Edgar Wright usually is like better than this when I think it comes to writing. But I think you would have a genuine payoff for the bully.
Yeah.
Because she just stops sort of being in the movie when she's quite a large part of the first 2/3.
Exactly. Because I guess she pushes her away, but I feel like just school in general could have done that. You know, you're surprised that she doesn't get like comeuppance, like doesn't get like killed or something.
Yeah, or just like it's like apart from kind of pushing her away, doesn't impact the rest of the film. No. So I don't know,
even at the end with the fashion show, she's kind of like, it's like
it's just like odd. I think there's just like some odd choices made. Genuinely think the first like half is some of the best stuff he's ever done.
Yeah, definitely
love it. It's just that I find the second half is just very weak. What would you give it out of 10? Did you say? I gave it like high.
I gave it like an 8 out of 10. So I was like kind of like, no, I really did like that start. I thought that knife scene was just like I loved it so much. And I thought I didn't mind the old lady thing reveal. I did kind of hate how she didn't kill her. Like the burning house seemed like a weird cop out. There's a lot of weird things, and I think I've given it too high of a review, but I'm going to stick by it because I just think my expectations were so low, like so low, and then I'm like, oh no, it's good, but yeah.
That's fair. Do you think this is his worst movie?
I dislike Baby Driver. I've only seen Baby Driver once. Maybe I should revisit that.
I think Baby Driver falls into very similar pitfalls.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think that movie
there's lots of bits I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that's another movie that I think kind of... And it has some fantastic... Like, there's a diner sequence in that movie that I love. There's a lot of on-edge tension in that offsets the comedy really nicely in Baby Driver. But I do think that movie's third act really kind of falls apart.
That's where I remember just like leaving the cinema like, oh.
And it's a shame that this happens. A movie I watched recently was Malignant. And that is a movie that I don't think is particularly good.
That's the James
Wan one. But the last 30 minutes are so good that the movie ends on such a high and a crescendo that it's like I give it a more positive review than Last Night in Soho, simply because I feel better at the end of the other one.
Yeah.
It's like after getting through a slog, I am rewarded.
Yeah.
Whereas after getting through like lots of really good enjoyment, I'm only let down.
100%. But that's the thing. I was like, wow, from the start, like this is like it like is easily like a 5-star film, and by the end it was a 3. I'm like, well, average it out, it's a 4. But yeah, no, I just don't think he can nail it. I think only Hot Fuzz, I'm like, that's an ending I love.
Yeah.
And that's about it, really, for him. What other ones?
Edgar, we love you though.
We love you.
We do love you.
Come on the potty.
Keep doing this stuff.
Yeah.
I'll always watch it.
I'll always watch it. I'll pay money for it. Hope this makes this money back.
It's like one of the, I think it's like one of the lowest grossing films ever or something like that. Had like it had like the worst opening for a film in 4,000 cinemas. It made like $3 million or something like that.
Really? But I thought, I forget we are not on, I forget general audiences aren't for this.
Yeah.
I forget we're in such like a little bubble that Edgar Wright's like, well, he's a big director, but no.
Like, I mean, Baby Driver was big.
Yeah.
But
that had
like,
such a cast.
Yeah. Like, I'd be interested to know if this, I don't know what the marketing was like over in America or anything like that. But, like, without COVID, I wonder if this maybe would have done better.
I think after The Queen's Gambit, which it could have released after.
Yeah.
Because everyone loves Anya Taylor-Joy.
I do. And I can see why she's great in this.
She is. But yeah, that was Baby Driver. And that was Venom 2. Let There Be Carnage.
Baby Driver. Fuck! What are we reviewing next week?
Next week, Carl, we are reviewing The Snowman 2017.
You could have saved them, Oscar. I gave you all the clues. Oh wait, that movie has no fucking clues in it.
I'm an hour into it, Carl, and it's a fucking slog. I paid $5 for the rental. The rental has expired. I'll be stealing the film, and you can quote me on that in a legal battle.
Michael Fassbender's like, get my lawyers on the phone.
I'm listening to Who Would Watch This. No, not Serial. Who Would Watch This?
Their neighbours are Serial.